morning, beautiful people. Good morning. Good morning. And I will never get nobody name up. They was like, they was like, is that a wig? What was that? I said, I don't know. I don't do hair. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna say the other women that was in there. Some that at the, the fairness, they was laughing at the gym with me this morning. They said, we know you gonna put them hairstyles. I said, I am. So I know, because we got 130. I said, I am. I'm gonna put it up there. Now, one downvote is Liddell or Kansas. I'm not messing with it.
Rocket, cold.
But look who they said that was Crockett. You got Stephen A. Smith attacking her now. Jasmine Crockett.
Attacking our whole national. So it ain't nothing new with him. He's the fastest racer. He all that. He let you know who he is. He ain't holding him up.
But he black.
Stephen Miller ain't.
No, Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, man.
I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith. You ain't see how they sent him. I said, y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. I mean, listen. Hey. Some laugh with you, some laugh at you. They laughed at me plenty of times. I laughing too, shit. But hey, it is what it is. But boy, we was rolling. They was like, you gonna put them pictures up? I said, I am. She the one brought up content. She said, oh, they trying to use stuff for content. I said, well, she gave it to me. This what I wanted to say. I was watching one guy. I was looking for his video. And he was talking about, like in Chicago, when they raided the hotel. And I get both sides, not the hotel, the apartment complex. But, and as he was breaking it down, and it was like what they doing is, what they not telling people is, and it's bad on both sides, but these was the ones that the Democrats had. Remember when they took them to Martha's Vineyard and everything?
Yeah.
What's up?
I just can't fathom that, right? Like, I'm still stuck on, you touch my kids, I'm touching you. It's that serious. And the fact that he's just letting this man skate by, but a dude who does something peaceful, that rallies the community to do something peaceful, right? How often do we see people today get groups of people together, rile them up, and go set them loose? Jed gathered a group of people, got them focused, and did something productive, and he's the fucking monster? This is some bull.
Jed's a monster. Good morning, beautiful people. And shout out to Jed and his INA team, you heard? What it do, the dreamer in the building. I see Trevor says, Trevor, you on bullshit. But good morning, Trevor said, Yogi discuss. What you got? I'm coming with that FBA right now energy. Yep, I'm coming with it. What it do, Yogi G?
What's happening? Good people? Happy Friday. $5 Friday to be exact. Y'all know what it is. Ain't nothing changed just because if you ain't seen this face in this pro. Make sure y'all pay the man and the team so y'all can continue to get the news that you can use on 810. I'm so happy to be back. I feel like I've been gone months and Sundays, I kind of walk it like I talk it, you know what I mean? This pro ain't just for show. I gotta go out here and believe I can save the world out here because I ain't got nothing left. I ain't got no keys to the rockets. They ain't trying to let me go to the Netherlands of Neptune or wherever they building their new colony. So I gotta make it do what it do here. So let's good morning, good people.
And yes, we got the lovely Yogi G is in the building. Good morning to all the beautiful people that's tapping in. And hit that like button as you coming in. If you're on the one stream, hit the like button there. Then tap back in the other stream and hit the like button over here. You can do it twice. And then when it's off, go back and hit that hype button. Hype as you can hype. And if you didn't hype the ones, go back and hype the ones that will let you hype. You heard? Good morning to all the beautiful people that's tapping in with me and Yogi G. Yogi G right now. What it do, Yogi? We done heard about Flint. We've been crying about Flint from Monday through Thursday. And a little bit of national.
I know. I've been hopping in the chat saying howdy doing, and I had to get up out of there, man. DC right now, we're in the frozen state. They've been tearing our mayor up, King Cooper Bowser, because she ain't moving fast enough or effective enough. We got blanketing in, and then they brought the little the snow plows out. Some of them was breaking down in the streets because we got some ice here too. It's a bit of a mix, and so she was feeling the pressure from the people with money, and so she said, you know what, The kids been out for 2 days, Wednesday, Thursday. One of those days is gonna be the day we're gonna make sure everybody go to school. But that wasn't the move because people were ice skating outside. Wasn't enough support. So
So they still send the kids to school.
hey man, they say 2 hour delay. You'll make it your way. You know, and
Listen,
you know,
it's a -5 right now.
listen, people run out here fighting over parking spots, okay, because they done worked hard, use all their cardio, that snack food that we had stored up. Now you gotta go work it out because you gotta dig yourself out. We still live in a society where you gotta pay your fare, So people out here wilding, and I'm just trying to stay safe. That's what's been happening in these streets. On top of the election, because everybody running up here too.
Well, I got a question with you. How's the situation with the homeless people in DC with the weather, frigid weather?
Man, listen. So I'm thankful to say that we ain't totally corrupt and bad here in DC. We got warming centers that are around for our senior citizens and our homeless population. We definitely have like shelter vans that go around and pick up the homeless people if they want to, because let's be honest, some people just want to be left alone. It's a beautiful story that I've been seeing on my Instagram because that's my current newspaper. It's all I can handle in my life these days, outside of checking into the devious NBC and things like that. But, we got people in the community that'll go by. If you got a resident homeless person that has set up shop, they've been going by and giving them food and things like that. So the community has been really helpful towards, chipping in. So DC got pretty secure system for taking care of the homeless. Now, when we talk about moving them all public spaces, our mayor prefers bulldozers and spikes for that. But, they got a heart because it's ice outside. So, and she don't want to get caught up in the news. So, it's campaign season. Yeah.
As you can see, fam, I would try to get in the chat on my phone, but my screen is froze again. Nope, it took me to a whole nother show.
I thought we was having a new phone arrive.
It did. I gotta go take it after the show. I go get it. I get it changed out.
This is why we need that $5, y'all, because Otis needs some support. Okay, y'all don't support nothing else today on this show. Now, one word you hear me say, send $5 so Otis can be able to communicate with the chat.
I'm good. It came yesterday. I'm gonna go. I got an appointment. See, I like to go do the appointments where you don't be in the store for there in 4 hours. So I got an appointment. They're gonna activate them, and I'll be back popping.
All right, we're looking forward to it.
For shizzle.
But nah, Nick, what's on your mind? It's been a minute. With the chat, what we talking about today?
Because I see they said the feds locked Don Lemon up, or Lyman. How you pronounce it? Is it a little
again? French? They got him again. I thought they
said free Don. The Dreamer said the feds locked up Don Lyman again. Said free Don.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Good morning, good morning, all the beautiful queens that then tapped in the kings. You heard? I mean, I'm trying to. I'm just saying because you see, we didn't have a person freeze to death, and you see, we was talking about yesterday. We had got Sis Audrey had tapped in and said what happened over to the apartment complex. We used to record from right across the street from it. They had like 10 units was out, furnaces went out. I'm gonna go with the and in the frigid weather right now. She took some space heaters out there. So, they was probably trying to go. Then you got I messed that up, but I know them individually. Debbie Clark, one half of the Wonder Twins. Diane Thornton, the other half of the Wonder Twins. You got Stanley Wood, Taylor Sampson, Color of Law Coalition. See how it just
there we go. Color of Law Coalition. Big ups to you guys.
So they out there feeding the homeless. And like one they sent me, I didn't want to put the person picture up there, but he got no legs and one arm in a wheelchair, homeless.
Wow. I'm just grateful that there's people that find the time to show up and step out, even though you might be going through your own personal things. And I think that's really commendable for all of those people that you named to get together and start going out here and being a part of the solution. Because it takes for everybody to do it, not just the people that's supposed to be getting paid to do it, in my opinion, or at least that's what I practice.
But it's a good thing to hear, not to cut y'all, good thing that y'all mayor is doing something for the, like you say, the people got on her, but it's like, but she was forced, like you say, but she might have been.
Mick, when y'all be telling y'all stories about y'all mayor, man, I hate that y'all make me appreciate her a little more. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a hard feat because I got several reasons to, operate my disdain for her, but yeah, Nelly is a whole different kind of beast.
But I mean, but what do you think about the churches? I mean, the whole religious community. You just can't say the whole religious community in the city. Do you think churches or mosques or things should be set up? You know what I'm saying? For we can help people during these times like this.
I mean, I don't want to try and choose my words carefully because I know that we got some true believers in the chat, and I am somebody who's highly raised in the church, but have found my own way of celebrating what I believe spiritually. So when I say this, I mean this in the most thoughtful way, that I think that churches have a responsibility of showing up in community because how I was taught, that's how you're supposed to stand, not to be problematic or anything like that. They literally been talking about what happened in Minnesota as it pertains to um, my mentors, Dr. Nikemi Levy Armstrong and Chantel Allen, who did that action in Minnesota at the church, and they disrupted the services of the church, whose pastor is the field director for ICE. And a lot of people were saying that was disrespectful to God, but then I saw some people elevating that there's a story for those who operate in this version of the Bible about Jesus going to a temple and tearing that joint up, because of what was happening there. So, like, I think if you're on the right side of things, churches do have a certain way to show up, and that's how they really about people and God's word. And then the people who just out there to rob some more, you can see it very vividly, especially in 2026.
Facts. I'm looking at and thank you to lovely Sherry Allen. I just want to make a correction because I didn't mean to miss them on purpose, but Beverly Biggs Levy and Tanya Jones are part of the Color of Law Coalition, and they be out there feeding the homeless, giving them giving them gloves and stuff. Oh yeah, we just got
Interesting.
yeah, paying no attention.
The world is an interesting place.
Yeah, the world's gonna feel it. But see, I'm just saying that's why I'm like, it's here sad that we didn't have. But to me, that's why I was saying like what our leadership is doing, and I get like Tanya on the job, and I got to give her a shout out, Councilwoman Tanya Burns from the 6th Ward. So, and I'm pretty sure I know because Tanya the top, she's not just going to invade your ward without letting you know. She's gonna hit the proper channel. So I'm pretty sure. But it's like fires these. And I don't know everything. Good morning, good morning, good morning to everybody that's tapping in. It's just that we know here, because you live in a cold state, we know we going to get all seasons. But I'm glad, y'all, like you said, your mayor is doing something. But they even shut, I think it's from 5. Is it like from the warming centers? It's from like 5 to, and they put them right out. You know what I'm saying?
Let me not totally listen. Yeah, I gotta call a spade a spade. They are putting them out in the morning too. They might have a little longer than what y'all time frame is for them staying in the shelters or warming centers, but it's still the end result, right? Like it's not being, the problem is not being resolved, right? The problem is that they don't have access to housing and stability. It's not being addressed. And then I don't know. It don't seem like it's going to get addressed anytime soon because Trumpsy Rumsey just yesterday was making an announcement about homeowners. Did you see that, Nick?
The homeowners?
Home ownership, for his opinion on that. So he wants to reward the people who are currently homeowners. And then he said, for those of us who have not achieved that just yet, then sucks to be us because he's gonna make it hard because you didn't earn your keep. And I'm just like, are you crazy? Like we already struggling out here.
That's what the president said.
That's what almost flipped up. That's what your president said. Yes.
Is he yours too? Because you live in you in DC, he in your town.
Mick, you got the roll call.
And it's coming from the lovely sister Felicia Martinez from New Jersey by way of the East Coast. You heard? She said Mickey's roll call is sponsored by Don Lemon, who was arrested by federal agents last night for reporting the church In Minnesota now, we are arresting journalists. First Amendment no longer exists. Keep fighting Don. I mean, he didn't think he was gonna get no pushback.
I mean, if we were operating in the Constitution as it presently stands, then he would not be seeing any ramifications of being a part of that. But he wasn't. Let me strike a part of that. He was
Okay, break it down,
reporting
you
what was
sisters.
happening. He was reporting what was happening. He was already in Minnesota. He went, some people told him that there was an action that was happening. And as a journalist, you go and you see where the news is and you report
Right.
it.
I agree. I agree.
And they said, do you want to go catch this action in real time? And Don went to report the news, which is important because he's an independent journalist.
Facts.
And it's important that we have many independent journalists on the scene so that we can be able to have the facts not skewed by like the different agencies of the big six in media, like Fox 5 or NBC News, things of that nature. So now what you have to the point of like I've only barely been reading it on the sidelines because I was like, what? Don got locked up? That they did it in such a way that you can tell it's a pissing contest. Can I say that on here? I don't want to get a
Yeah,
phone.
yeah, 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 yeah. Go
All right,
ahead.
word. Okay. But yeah, they did it in a way that was egregious. Like you got that man in his prime of doing the Grammys, allegedly. I don't know. I saw it in the chat. But you did it in a public way to shame him or to show reflect your power, which is what they wanted to do. Like
Facts.
what they did with the imagery of Dr. Nikema Levy Armstrong being arrested, and then they had AI pictures going around of her crying. That's not her. I know her personally. You would never. She has never. This ain't her first rodeo, and she knows the law. So she steps in that confidence. But it's just how the narrative gets spent, and
Yeah.
how we gotta wake up, man, and start knowing when we being manipulated.
Facts. And thank you, Omar Thor, for the $5 super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Said a little something for the family to keep making us proud. Thank you, brother.
But
I,
yeah,
I see you. I see you, Joe. Let me see. An enigma is the injection of fluid into the Lord.
don't read the notes, Nick.
I
Don't
just
read the
good morning, good morning. But what I'm
notes.
looking at, Danny set me up. What I'm looking at is though, and we got Lanita Murray with the $5 super chat. Thank you, beloved. I'm just what I'm looking at, Yogi, is like we can say you want to change, right? It don't matter how, but if you ain't got the money behind you, and just say you do get your people in there. How many times have we seen people turn from what they say they was gonna be? They might have started. Look at Obama. Let's just use Obama for example. Remember, Obama came in there. Obama. Obama was, you know, he came in talking sweet, like he came in smooth. By the time Obama, he had black hair when he went in there, was grayed, started green. I mean, because as you know, we can say we're gonna get in there, we're gonna do this. Let's be honest. If you would have had I'll go with Eric Mays. We see the problems that he was catching hell at. Some of the stuff that he wanted to do, man, he was catching hell. Like
I
when you
mean,
fight the system,
I think that, and that's an experience that I can't talk to specifically. I've had, moments that I felt like I wanted to throw my hat in the ring and just,
fact.
be one of those decision makers because I was just so sick and tired of being sick and tired. It also reading history and seeing how politicians are dealt with behind the scenes. I think that there may be some things that cause people to like challenge their morals, on the whole scale. Like they're just people do it for their families, I think, and that's who you show up for organically. And when you're talking about leadership, and so if you got people who are threatening to erase your whole family, or like we don't know what it could be, like allegedly, these things tend to get real dark. I'm hearing. Um, so I'm not excusing that they had sacrificed us for the better good of them, but I'm just saying like when you get into that space where you think you're coming for change, and then you realize that you done stepped into something that you ain't prepared for, you gotta make some decisions. I can't say.
Now I agree with you. Good morning, beautiful queens that just tapped in. Constance, Mama Quill, and Lenore Seal. Thank you, queens. and all the queens who done tapped in and kings. Thank you, beautiful people. Now, I listen. I agree with you because you got history teaches you what it would do if you fight the system.
People
We
have
got
disappeared,
Major,
man. People have
we
disappeared
got
and never been
MLK.
spoken again.
But what about the ones they don't talk about that got knocked off? See, we go about the ones that we seen. What about the ones, the popular ones, the most captivating ones? But what about the ones you don't get to hear about that got took out? You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm saying?
remember a few stories of like there were congressmen who or a congresswoman who disappeared, like she was unalive by a bridge. There was a whole article about it. Nobody ever talked about it.
Yeah,
But
see,
somebody else got elected. It was a black woman. I
see,
mean, like,
and can you understand why people would be like, you get some who go to the edge and be like, okay, that's enough. I can
hmm
understand why, like certain people, that's why I don't until you in their shoes. Like when I be hearing when Maurice say, look, you don't know until you get in that seat. When you
yeah,
sitting from this part, yeah, you can say this and that. I remember, see, you would hear stories about people getting calls in the middle of the night. I'm just saying, you. I know you done heard folklore of your city. I done heard folklore of things here. Like, look, man, much as you might want to do this, man, this high stuff will be run. People will come. We used to come to your crib. I done heard about. I ain't gonna go into detail, but the older ones who know, they probably know where I'm finna go. I mean, can listen to the story. Heard people said, look, one time it was an individual wasn't voting for this. After he got a visit, he changed his vote to the way it was supposed to go, and then he left council. He went ahead. His time was he didn't care about running again. I'm just saying, see, people don't understand that.
I think that the thing that we have to remember is that for me, the sign of a good leader, especially with DC going through such a big shift in the hands of power during some really fragile times, is that you are accepting the calling of leadership, knowing that at any point your life is going to be on the line,
Yeah,
especially if you are talking the truth. And I
yeah,
think for us as people who are supporting people who answer that call, knowing that their life is on the line, we do owe it our due diligence to support that person and
fact,
not waffle on how we stand on that, right? And that is how we continue to maintain power and not get trick bagged into these false leaders, in my opinion.
facts.
Um, if you are finagling something that, let's talk about the water, because right now we got another thing going on with our water, right? So I'm gonna meet Flint where they at in DC.
Mm-hmm.
So for the past couple of weeks, they've been talking about we had this overflow of sewage in our water system.
Mm-hmm.
We already had issues happening with Pepco, our electric company, polluting our water and paying pennies to the hundreds that they got back on return. Then found out their little brother, gas company over here was doing the same shit. I mean, sorry, same stuff. They was doing the same thing. So now we got the sewage just happening, right? So in my opinion, right,
Mm-hmm.
see this bro and watch these eyebrows go. In my opinion, anybody that's sitting here that wants my vote in 2026 and beyond, you better be saying it with your chest that we need to be getting some facts around what's happening with our water supports. If you finagling and talking about we need to start a task force and all this other stuff, I don't want to hear it, and you're not the candidate for me because you with the bullshit. You trying to get you some money, and you trying to prolong this problem until the cows come home, or you find somebody else to take your place and still won't pay you in your bank account. So we don't need it. So there are some things that we can still continue to do to fight this good apocalyptic fight because things are burning. We're not going to say it's not, but you still got to do your part and show up clear minded and do your part to educate yourself.
And I do agree with you with that. I just think because America was founded on protesting. As far as when they was, that's why I don't get it. Like, but we also know there's always be agitators in these simple protests. Remember, it used to just be the police whooping the people ass when they was doing it back in the civil rights. Now and not just them, you have classes with the resistance because remember, it's always going to be a resistance to whatever you do. And I just think in my humble opinion, it's like that's what I'm saying. When you get these politicians, it's like to me, how can you beat a person that's a billionaire, a millionaire, billionaire? How can you beat them? I mean, just think about it. They listen. They've been knocking off civil rights. People been getting. I don't know how we forget this. Remember when they was down there trying to get the people. What was their name? Shriner them. It was the two Jewish young fellas and the black brother. They
Mhm.
got killed. Going. Remember the Mississippi burning.
Mhm. Mhm.
Remember, and that was just to get people registered to vote. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can go look at history and can see if you do fight for these causes, you're gonna run into this. And I don't think like and I think that's what it really is. People knew back then what the choice was. Their life was gonna be on the line. I think the people now be like, hold up. Just use Flint for example. Just like when Debbie Clark, she'll tell you how she got injured, got hit in the chest. Miss Gladys got her shoulder dislocated. Art got swung on. Chester got snatched up. It's like the different, you know what I'm saying? It's and all because of what? Because council, not the majority of council, just certain in the road clique of council. Y'all weaponized the police because citizens was coming into council voicing their opinion, displeasure with the way y'all been governing the city.
Now, Mick,
This,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I have to just step up and say that as an outsider, right? Because I know that word gets used a lot. I am an outsider, as you can
Mhm.
see. It says Yogi G from DC. But to be and stepping into the lens of Flint for a second and see how, y'all melanated women misuse the police against their constituents was crazy. It is a moment in time that I will walk away from constantly telling people about, and not in a good way. Because of if you link that kind of disregard for the sacrifices that not even all of our ancestors, but your elders, their specific elders made for them to have the privilege to even sit in that seat and call themselves a council member,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. It's crazy. But I do also have to name because we talk good people. Me and Mick wrapped it up and chatted it up before we got on here, and I was telling Mick, I say sometimes when I listen, Mick, it's just like I hear like, what's the use? And that's I'm not saying that's what Mick is telling us. So I appreciated him giving me more context because it's somebody who has made a choice to organize people, even though I still got to raise kids, I still got to live out here, I'm still impacted. I still believe that the power is with the people. Um, and that organizing and showing up and helping people create action makes me feel better than just sitting down and just kind of telling people what I see and then just going on with my day, you know. But everybody has their own journey, so I just wanted to elevate just that I don't take it lightly that you guys are showing us from the inside out what's happening in Flint, and it's hard to watch sometimes.
No, yeah, but you know what? But that's why I know they're gonna get mad at me when I call it the plantation. But to me, it's like I just think I don't know. Like I said, I don't like I said I ain't been in D.C. I have admired the mayor. You know what I'm saying? Rest his soul, but Marion Barry. But
Mm.
like I say, closest I think we got from in mind that I'd have seen was Eric. You know, I done heard about the Fred Tucker, but I was a baby. I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't really hit. But they say he was when you go listen to the elders who knew him from back then, shit, he sounded like a stone G, like he fought for his people, and that he was fighting, and from what I'm hearing, he was running council, and that was at a time when he was the minority owned council, not like how it is now. You know, majority black council, but and you see how they vote, like you can't get. And I'm not saying this to like to disparage anybody, but it was something that Dennis said that made sense. And I still remember to this day. What's up, Demetri Brown? Thank you for tapping in. When he said, You know, he was talking to AC. He said it's a majority black council. Why they couldn't go vote for stuff? I ain't saying it verbatim, but why they couldn't go vote to do things on the north side? Why you couldn't get if it was, you know, I'm gonna throw this in. He ain't say that, but far as credible 501c3s is doing the work. Why couldn't y'all vote for get this funding over here? Why, you know what I'm saying? On it, you wouldn't need us. Y'all the majority. So I don't know how is DC Council made up.
So we have 13 representatives, and so we have one for every ward, which we have 8 in total. And then we have 3 at large, if I'm remembering correctly, when my math not off.
I'm saying the color makeup.
The color makeup?
Yeah,
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard. So we have a predominantly black council. We have, but our chair, the person who like keeps them in line, he's white, and he's been in there since the 90s. So, yeah.
He the OG on there.
He the OG, but that's why
he the shot caller.
I mean, Phil Mendo. I call him Mendo, you know, for short. But he don't play no games. Like, he been keeping it in checks and balances, and he been doing a good job walking that line.
So he's good at what he do.
He's good at what he does, but his seat is up for grabs. Even he got to go. They plotting against him, Mick. I'm scared.
They plotting against him.
They plotting against him, Mick. They plot. And listen, let me tell you how crooked it is, right? Real quick.
Come on,
all right, listen. So we have a Ward 8 council member, and like he models himself after who you mentioned, our mayor for life, Marion Berry. And so like he gives very much that energy. And I like it from time to time, even though the people got some thoughts. But recently, Brother Trayon, Councilmember White, got caught up with the FBI, not the friend's brother-in-law, but he did. Wait a minute. I'll take that back. He got caught up with FBI twice. He got caught up doing friend's brother-in-law kind of activity, and then the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, came after him.
Big boys.
The big boys, right? And I think
I'm following you.
This is hood conspiracy, so, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But,
allegedly.
You know, allegedly, he had some friends that he was hooking up with some grants, and some things got sticky with PPP loans, and they was looking for people. One of those people had one of those PPP loans. Then they turned around and said, you know, if you let me go, I could give you a bigger fish. And they said, oh, word, do tell. And he said, you ever heard of the Ward 8 council member? And so not only did they catch this man, not once, but twice and thrice. That means 3 different outfits, 3 different envelopes. Accepting what they said was allegedly bribed. So keep that in mind. So we got the crucifixion of a black man who has done a crime that probably most of his peers have done 10 times over. Mm-hmm. And now we have our old council member from Ward 2, which is where the money resides in DC. If you know, you know. His name is Jack Evans, and he came back on the scene after he was excused gracefully from doing the same thing. Except when he did it where he was putting money directly into his company and not in his pocket. So he got, you know, he got excused out of there. So Jack said, you know, I feel like now that the Titanic is sinking and the holes are showing, I think it's a good time for me to come back and run some shit. And so now we got him coming out of the crevices trying to take over. So Phil is in danger. We're out here fighting for our lives in here in DC. You heard it live from me to you from 810. Somebody tell my story, because I don't know if we're gonna make it, man.
Hold up, you said he got caught up, so they don't got the courts and the judges like that to help them out.
Listen, we are a federal city. It's not that easy to do things. You got to really think this thing through to make shit shake here in DC, okay? Because we got to answer to the federales. So if you got the federales on your case in a federal city, I don't know. We don't have Davinas. We got many Davinas with higher titles and larger pay. Think of it like that. Yeah. So it's not that easy to find our Davinas around here.
Right. So you saying like it's a bless. What's up, Michael Cooley? So you said it's a free Don Lemon. They said Lemon. They said free Don Lemon. Look, Lemon and messed around.
Don, listen, since y'all want us to talk about it, let's say our piece on it, right? Listen, yes, free Don, but here's the reality. Don sat with, and I heard him say it on a panel here in DC. Don knows that with the truth comes the consequences. And so
Mhm.
while he was advocating in our right-minded constitution that journalism is a free thing and an independent thing per our constitution, he didn't forget, he knew who he was dealing with, the orange terminator who catches feelings. I see we just dropped some people from, they don't like when we talk about it, Mick. They just dropped off. But it's okay. I'm still talking to people who's here. So listen, he done pissed off the powers that be. He embarrassed them, and he constantly keeps his foot on their neck, and he talks trash about them each and every time he gets to. And he came after their favorite African princess, Nicki Minaj. So Don got the connects, man. Don got international reach. He'll be okay. Y'all can still put it in the chat and say free Don. I hope they are watching. Yes, free Don. But Don got it. Don will be all right.
Hey, Georgia Boy said Don wasn't screaming free nobody at one time. What time?
Listen, sometimes you wake up, man.
Hey, he got that. I'm OJ.
You get
Yo,
your wake up call.
then he got it, but see, he got it in their business. Listen, man, this is what I'm saying. I know I was trying to avoid it, but they don't want it. I'm gonna give it to y'all. Y'all know what it is. They
Amen.
telling Don you are interfering what we got going on. It's a certain particular society, and that's what I'm trying to tell you.
I gotta put this one up myself, man, because they be killing that commercial up here. So I get it, Kenneth. That cracks me up. He better call Top Dog Law because he gonna need it.
Yeah, because he got here millionaire. He about to spend some money. He like, me and my cousin was having a conversation this morning. That's how he left his badge, and I had to go back. When I saw it, I had to go back and take his badge back to him. We had this conversation this morning, talking about the exact same thing. You're not gonna get in people business. See, they ain't. See, listen. When you saw what happened in Minnesota, I'm not listening. I'm telling you, it was wrong. I'm telling you, it was wrong. But you can go back and see what happened during the civil rights. They sick dogs on people for getting in their business. When we said we didn't want our Negroes to vote, it's footage you can go get see during that election in Mississippi burn. Go get if you go watch the movie Mississippi Burning, they use actual footage from people talking back then. People might don't want to accept it, but if they would knock your ass off for getting in their business, this is a big thing to a segment of the American population about letting people come here that they feel like too many came in. Listen, I'm not the judge or juror or tell you who can come and go. Listen, I'm trying to make sure, because where we going to go if they ship us out? Don't nobody going to accept us. Let me just throw that out there. But I'm saying, you getting in people, this is how serious this is to them. That they will kill some of their own for getting in their business. And that's really what that was. I'm not saying it was right. I'm saying it's wrong. But this is the stuff that would happen. You got history to show you what they would do. They want them gone. I'm not saying it's right. Y'all, I've been coming on here saying how they chased the one young girl down. You know, they was chasing her down. But how you think they was doing us in the 30s, 40s, in the 20s when they say you got to show your paper to see if you was free? In some states you went to, it don't count. What's up, B. Marie? Hey, you all right. There's no problem, B. Marie. We need people to learn how to read. But I'm just saying, this is the stuff that you remember. It was one time you would be killed for learning how to read. I mean, like, I don't know why people don't want to look at history. So, I mean, Don them say they, so what you gonna do? If they will kill their own for getting in the way, what you think they gonna do to me and you?
I mean, I'm thankful personally for people like Don and people who like showing up and protesting and things like that, because that gives time for a person like me who is limited in resources and connection to friends, because I've been living in isolation like everybody else. I've been happy with my little circle of friends, but guess what? My friends ain't got all the skill sets I need to survive off the grid, because I still believe that's it.
See, Don is a millionaire. They
Yeah,
can pay for lawyers. You
they
know,
buying us time, in my opinion, Mick. Listen, while y'all focused on Dawn and them, I could go over here try to figure out what underground tunnel me and my family could travel
yeah.
through to try to get some with. Because I don't know what kind of news y'all looking at. I'm looking at the world imploding on my
You just
end.
listen. It's been imploded. That's why I'm trying to. That's why I've been seeing it a lot. We got to get our shit together. Like
Oh
what?
yeah. Oh wait. I gotta share this right for those
Come
right
on
because I
with
was
it.
talking to Mick about the fact that for our passport princesses out here, he was talking about all you gotta do is get your passport and leave it out of here. I said, well, Mick, here's the funny thing. I I keep saying if nobody has checked out the Prime Minister of Canada's speech, you might want to chop in and check it out. And then I was telling Mick, I don't know if this is fake news or not, but it gave me a bit of a chuckle and a pause. It was a woman who was taking advantage of the snowstorm and said this was like a good time for me to go to Canada. And apparently she walked from whatever border is closest from Michigan to Canada, and she used a drone to guide her way. And they arrested her. As soon as she touched the toe on Canada and said, you gotta go. They made her go back. And I said, listen, that's crazy to think. Before Canada was welcoming us with open arms. It's like, come on over, friend. But now they like, you got to go. Y'all problematic. And they don't even care who y'all is. Black, white, Indian, or Asian. They don't care. Don't come over here with that BS. So if you think that your passport is going to save you, I need you to open your horizons on your news intake and start getting international because Donald Trump ain't just stopping at local. He been doing some international troubles too. So
Yeah, well, he throwing that Monroe Doctrine. See, he pulling the old books that's on the laws. It's no different. He just using internationally. While they were just up here still finding ways to knock a black up. Oh, we're gonna use the Mann Act for you, Puffy. We're gonna use this. You look at what? How is that even righteous to this day? You know what I'm saying? Like Puffy got locked up for being a freak.
and while all the rest of the freaks running the world. That's funny.
The facts. That's what I'm trying to tell you. See, but and that's what I be saying, and that be like really like a lot of my beef. I told you that this morning when I was talking about far as the Keith Porter Jr. story. But to me, it's like, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just being honest. It seems like America's all right if a black man or black woman get killed, but they get mad at us for having an uproar when we done been getting knocked down. But now, two done got knocked down in Minnesota. They having an uproar. You know what I'm saying? Like, and let's be honest. And them people I'm not saying right or wrong. They was interfering what they was doing. We don't even got to interfere in some business. We can just get a call. Hey, Leroy, them at the park. Why is they up there? You could be, like I said, Tamir Rice was playing with a toy gun. And how long did it take for the police to come up there and kill him? Just think about when we was at city council. Them police came just to bust heads. We'll throw city council out the way. Let's throw, because we can see the selective politic and how the police came to deal with one situation from a different situation. But I'm gonna leave that alone. Let's just go with the peaceful protests. And this ain't like these was a bunch of young people. The police snatched elderly people. They snatched some of our most, they snatched our senior citizens out their cars. So I'm just saying, and was no outcry. It got its views and looks, but all we was told, well, you can't be doing this. It ain't like, look, just to be honest, the mayor had his recon team out there. Let's be honest. They knew Jed and the people that was walking. It ain't like Jed had the youth, the whole youth or something where they could have been scared. Let's be honest. Jed had people that was blowing cigarettes. I'm just saying. I was from Flint because I was out in the walk. You seen Tito was blowing cigarettes. Who was we finna go out? Wasn't no people finna go out there and jump on nobody. Let's be honest. He didn't go grab nobody that was trying to get out there and be physical with nobody. But that became you had some people that was, it was split on it. It was split. Let me say it was split. But I bet you some of these same people here in Flint is tripping about what happened in Minnesota, but you weren't tripping about what happened here. That just showed me where, like, kind of, while I was telling you earlier, like, I'd be like, we fickle minded. We fickle.
I was sharing with you when I heard that thought. That's why at one time I had put in the chat like about the Freedom Riders and how those people made a sacrifice to go down to a highly volatile state for the sake of increasing the numbers uh, for something that was going to be beneficial to making the stance going forward in other cities and states. I'm not giving those people that you're talking about in that moment that kind of grace. It's just the way my mind works. That sometimes when people don't see movement and traction in their own spaces, they go with the majority is. Now, if there's some money that's happening in Minnesota, that's a hell of a commitment to make because they're not playing. They not
No, it
playing.
is.
So I mean, you must have a real need for some cash if you're gonna go put your life on the line, and it must be some really major cash because that's the only way. Outside of me doing my due diligence to make sure that they got the support that they need. The only thing I've been asked of for the people I'm connected to in Minnesota was to make sure that you elevate their story, make sure you keep it going from the independent sources, and they need support with finances so they can be able to keep supplies going because they stand 10 toes down. Other than that, I have not been asked to put my body on the line or have anybody recruited to get on a bus to come down there. They have not said they needed the numbers. But if that's your calling, then I mean, that's gonna be the answer.
Yeah. I agree with you. I would not tell people not to go. Let me be honest with you. I'm not telling people not to go. I'm just saying, do you understand Martin ML King went from, I remember I told you, I said they had to go. Malcolm X went to other cities. Martin went from Tennessee when he took on that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. I'm not saying what you don't supposed to do. I'm just saying we still fighting for what we've been going through. I'm just saying certain demographic of our society is just now going through this. They've been burning our cities down. Just like how you saw my man went to Dearborn, had an attitude about, oh, Dearborn becoming a Sharia, all this stuff. Then he ended up in Minnesota. They've been doing this to us. It's just like I said, I don't think people really understood. They've been, even when I told you earlier, I said, look, we was fighting about the DEI. Who was the last ones to benefit from DEI?
And I said we were, Mick.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying in general, it's like I'm not saying we don't post to fight, but I don't think a lot of the people that's here don't understand how they was able to get here because we've been fighting. Like some of the laws. That's why I was saying earlier. We couldn't even, it was against the law for us to read or write. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at, I forgot because it's up in the chat when somebody said the first thing blacks did when they got free created schools and churches. You do gotta go just look at our educational system. Even though I know we both talk junk, and I know you fired from the DC education. You fired from maybe the DC education now. I'm probably smarter than them kids, but before the school system was heavily corrupted, and that's what I'm saying. When you hear Winters talking about, because we went to the Ignite program that they, people graduating with degrees in jail in the
Mm.
Genesee County, like, and we done seen stories where people who have went to jail didn't know how to read, but came out of jail and knew how to read. I'm just saying there's so many things when you look at the Black Panther Party from back then, what they was doing. They was trying to educate. They had after school program. Where do you think we got the lunch program from? So
Yes, they
yeah,
stole the blueprint and then eradicated.
yeah, not all, but all races are repubs. Kenneth, you terrible. Do they have any black? I mean, I don't know. They say it is some
I've
black.
seen them.
You
Yeah,
have Yogi says yes,
yeah, I've seen them. So
but And I see what you're saying, Joshua said, do ICE attack European immigrants? I don't know. Like I said, and I was having a conversation when I be like, you to me, I think, and I said it earlier, I always been saying it on here. If people go read that book, Pat Buchanan, and I know people don't really want to listen to this. Let me see what the Dreamer said. Attorney Angela Wright is currently in Minnesota with her team. I'm suggesting all black podcasts leave. I don't think they're watching this, the Dreamer, that crew. But
They
see,
might be a part of the 63, Nick. None of that.
yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I'm just saying. But you really have to look at it like from like Angela Wright. They work for the Democrats. They getting paid. So that's part of the Democrat agenda right now. Just think about it. Up under Biden, and I'm gonna go with allegedly. Remember, he was trying to fast track a bunch of newcomers to America, make them citizens. So if the Democrats know they did this, they gonna have to take that fight. I'm not saying when Obama did it like that. I told y'all they was calling Obama the porter in chief, and maybe Obama did it different, but it was kids was in cages doing his up under his regime. And I get it. Maybe because he did it a little more smooth and wasn't so out in the front with it. Wasn't out in the front with it. But hey, what do you think a society gonna do if they feel like they numbers, it can hurt their numbers? I don't know why we don't want to believe that when they brought that 10 million in allegedly and was finna make them citizens, you didn't think the right was gonna like hold up. And that's really what we going back and forth. We really caught up in the middle between the right and the left fight. One know they need a new voting base. They need an extra voting base to keep winning. And the other side, like, shit, you gonna mess our numbers up. And that's just my humble opinion. I could be wrong. I just feel like I tend to listen to when people write books like Death of the West. When they say America can be a brown, the majority of this country can be of melanated. And I think a large segment like, hell no, just think about this, yo. Every 25 years we gotta go through can the blacks had a right to vote. Don't worry about the blacks got the right to vote, right?
Right.
We gotta go through this every year. Blacks got the every 25. Why you think it steady being like that?
Because they still got to keep the reins from the original plan.
But
You know,
yeah, but how is they able to keep the range?
what I was saying to you earlier, Nick, is like I'm looking at it from a lens of like consumerism, right? Like America has changed its way of generating revenue over a period of time, and now we went from consumerism to now data sales, right? Data sharing because they got us invested in AI and they know how to manipulate it. So it's a best of both worlds that's happening. But there's still that little tinge of the original plan that we didn't want to share our land with people that didn't look like us. You can't sit with us.
And
Um, and so that's why I was just like, that's where we kind of like, that's the real question that we gotta ask ourselves, right? Because like I was saying to you, like I barely know a guy. I use a different kind of word when me and Mick was talking, but I barely know a guy that got a boat that's gonna help save me should DC flood because we living under the flood zone. You know what I mean? So
fact.
I can tell you quite honestly that I don't even know a person with a tank, a military, any of those things that's going to, that's going to help us topple America and reconstruct it in a way that's going to be beneficial, especially to us as Black people, and let alone people of other cultures and identities, right? So then, what's
Yes.
the next plan? I heard somebody on the internet say that perhaps we should go back to Marcus Garvey's plan of getting on Noah's Ark and sailing away from this place. But I don't even think that Donald Trump wants that to happen. Uh, I think
Yeah. In fact, but I'm just saying, but can you understand why the problem where it's at though? That's what I'm saying. But when I be thinking sometimes we be acting like I don't know. I'm just assuming. I do be thinking like sometimes we don't want to admit like what we doing, like what really about that. I get it's a segment. I'm not saying the majority of it, but it's a segment looking like. Just imagine if Congress became some like it was a 49. Not I'm saying Senate and House of Representatives. Just say the makeup was like 51-49 majority is more people of non-white. The 51% was made up of non-white, the majority of council. I mean not council, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Do you understand who you think will be more shook
I
if
think
it
that the
came
white,
down to that?
it seems to me that the white population would have some qualm with that.
Not
But
all, but a nice
oh,
portion of it, because then you can mess around and this where it get tricky at. This is where it get tricky at. Even say if it was 51%, how many of that 51%, what do they put down on that? What race ethic do they put down?
the majority, by
Right.
law,
So
by
so
law,
it's
by law.
so even with that, it's not a guarantee that we will even be able to change that every 25-year voting what's the name. Let's see, that's what we have to be honest, and that's what I'm saying. It's not no knock, but they won't even take a chance on that saying, even though they gonna write up on our nationality, they still like, we gotta keep this makeup where it's then in 95 and against 5%. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm
So are
just
you
saying,
saying, Nick, that you think that after we go through the rapture, if we should make it out of the rapture, we're gonna go back to rapture like politics?
no, what I'm saying is why you saying this mass thing about deportation and they grabbing people up, don't care. Like I said, when they chasing a person down the street, they're chasing that young girl, even though she was legal. This is called we not taking no chances. You just got the Republican base in, and even the ones like MTG was like, hold up, they work for me too. She went against Trump, but she ain't seeing the thing like Trump ain't saying it, she ain't saying it, because she probably like, look, Trump, who finna work these jobs when we send this back? Go ask the farmers. So are we finna tell the one class that we had that was doing all this telling you we're not going back to that days? Damn that. You know what I'm saying? But and it's like you got the left, the right saying, look, fools, we can mess. You got a segment be like, we can fuck around, be the minorities. What is the shape? What is the makeup? Right. I mean, when you look at it, just say 40 million Black Americans here, right? And let's just say another, let's say 50 million Hispanic Americans here, right? You're looking at 90 million, and there's 200. At any given time, that 90 can fuck around and can go up to 200 million. And you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
just saying that you break it. Hold, I forgot about. That's what I'm saying. Just think about it. They was tripping about a city, Dearborn, being took over, saying it's becoming Islam. Just think about it. Minnesota, they was talking about Somalian, a city, not no state, just a certain section. And they like hell with that. Thank you, brother Zachary. He said he said the Voting Rights Act itself does not get voted on every 25 years, but specific provisions do. We must look at the provisions. Thank you, brother, for enlightening us with that. But I'm just saying that's the thing you're looking at. You think they scholars ain't writing book? Like who
Of
was
course.
really mad about all the immigrants? I mean, the people who have came. Who was really mad about it?
Man, listen, I was watching something that introduced me to the thought on a broader scale of just like collectively white power, right?
Mhm.
And when you talk about Eurocentric power being okay with Americanized ways of living, only under the banner that y'all keeping the white dream alive. So if that should be true, because I don't have any books
Yeah,
or facts in the moment to give you. I don't want Brother Elliot coming to tear me up. I'm still learning, Brother Elliot. Okay.
brother ain't gonna do
Uh,
that.
I know, it's all love. But I mean, if you think about it from a lens of that, right, like it stands because you look at Britain or England, however they label, and you see how attorney or power works over there, and then you look
Yes.
at Russia, and you look at all the other spaces. Because I don't know which ones you can name and not get flagged, so I'm just going to say use your imagination of
Mhm.
this umbrella. And now here you have America over here, who was operating well under that premise of keeping that power alive, and
Mhm.
now we are turning into a melting pot. And so now in certain spaces, they might look inferior. So I think that this is like also a power play under that, what you're talking about, Mick. Like, we need to reel it back in because we the minority here. And that's not going to help us in the longer screen, in the grand scheme of things, because now it's going to look like we weak. I don't know. All I got is, next time you see Mama come on here with a tinfoil hat, it feels crazy.
No, I mean, but it look like I say, it ain't, and like I say, I don't be trying to come on and just knocking. I'm just saying when you go look at the things that you be hearing, just think about it like this. I was saying it earlier. Remember, like I said, if you watch the news, I'm just saying, I go with it. When people look at it and they get their views. I was looking at Fox. I'm talking about the old Fox News, not this new
Mm.
one. Where Bill O'Reilly and all of them was on there, Cheyenne Hannity and you know what I'm saying, and all of them, Megan Kelly. You watch them shows, you would think blacks was the ones was on welfare. You would thought they
Mm.
was the majority on welfare. Not trying to be funny, but then when it came to the beautiful big bill and they was finished cut it down, they stopped it. Then when you got the real number, and it's like people were shocked. No, because this the rhetoric y'all been putting out here for so long. See, it's been rhetoric been putting out here, and it seemed like a certain segment really believed that. In my humble opinion, a certain segment believed that. But when you got it on the news coming out, you had a whole propaganda machine could just highlight all this and that. They'll make you think only in the ghetto drugs is being used. They're not gonna tell you in the good areas they use drugs there too. They just make you think drugs is in the hood. That's the stigma that they give it.
My grandmother has this old saying, Nicole, that said, "Don't cut your nose to spite your face." And it reminds me when I hear you talk about these things very much of that old saying that she taught us a long time ago. I saw a young man, he's white, and he has a whole Instagram dedicated to the story of West Virginia. And he is highlighting how the different policies that have come out of the Thunderdome, aka the Capitol, have heavily affected this community in West Virginia that is primarily, authentically backwoods white. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and they still, even though they don't have health care, they say they need better job quality, the schools are trash, and they ain't been considered, and none of this, they still are
Mm-hmm.
waving the banner of Trumpsy Rumsey. So I mean, this is what we're dealing with in these times of just how blindsided people are of being committed to the calling of divide by skin color, right? You still believe that we are the reasons that you're not getting X, Y, and Z, even though you don't have even not one split of representation of us in your city. You got your own council members and everything like that. So how can it be us as to why you can't get what you need to get? Like it's my prayer that people wake up and just see their reality for what it is instead of blaming other people as to why you don't have what you need. It's your own people. And they
Facts.
showing it to you. Housing affects everybody. I just told y'all yesterday, Trumpy Rumpy said if you don't got a house by now, which is over half of the American population, that tough titty. Oop, my bad. Tough luck.
All right, but what can you do?
I don't
What
know.
and when they building more apartments in the in in the area where it's low profits at, but building apartments is running 200 and 300. I mean 200,000. Come on, I'm trying to find that quote from the one of the ex presidents, Lyndon Baines Johnson. I'm trying to find it because I used to have it. I'm going through all my old stuff to try to find it, and I can put it up here. When you got, you can, like I said, if you this a president said this back in the day. and it's still true to this day. True. So I mean, what can you really expect? Like I told you earlier, my only takeaway from it, what I was mad about, is that it's a big issue being made now. Cause two, but it wasn't an issue when we was going through what we going through. That's all I'm saying. It's just I find it hypocritical when you see police want to come out and say all this stuff. They speaking up, even with the mayors from Chicago. Because I was watching one of Jed lives. I'm looking at, like I told you earlier. I get it. Like I say, I listen. I have compassion in me, but to see these people stepping up, I find it appalling with all the violence that you can see, crime going on in Chicago, where you can help your own, and that's what you came up with. This the fight that they want, and maybe I'm wrong, but this is what you came out and speak on. I couldn't find my thing from Lyndon Johnson. Ain't that terrible right there? I've been trying to find. Anybody can find that quote for me, please send it back to me. I couldn't get it, but when you got a president, you understand the top man, commander in chief. I'm saying down commander in chief. But Zach, how many people are making that's gonna be able to afford them condos downtown? Look like they're having a hard time getting them out because people breaking in them right now. But was it for the residents in Flint, or was it for the new resident? Because anytime I hear New Flint, we pushing forward. Is you pushing forward with new people or with the people that's here? I mean, I'm just saying. And how many people got good credit in the city?
You got me on the hunt for this Lyndon B. Johnson
Yeah,
quote.
man, I don't know. I used to have it. It was a quote. Damn, I went on Brother Elliot. But if anybody find it, I used to have it. But when I had to go on my page. I had to go back to damn near last year when I put it up, because I shared it on my page. But like when you got a person telling you that, just think about it. We cried, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm telling you it's wrong what happened to them two people down there. They got shot for interfering with Trump saying. Trump saying he gonna deport these people, regardless if we like it or not, and telling the citizens here he ain't saying it. Oh, I gotta send it to myself. Hold on, let me send it to myself.
I know I heard you say it before, and I know it's powerful.
Yeah, I'm
That's why I'm
finna
like, oh
send it
yeah, we
right.
need to get this quote.
And I'm finna send it right to myself.
Listen, the chat trying to help us out. They want us to be great too. Carol Kincaid said, "What
I
quote
can
you
read
trying?"
it for you because I can't. This one, when you got to do it through. Lyndon Johnson. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice your pick in his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. The U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson.
I
Thank
got
you, thank you, thank you, beloved, for sending me that.
I got a movie example of that, Mick. Right, and I know Brother Elliot said he hated 12 Years a Slave, but to each his own.
Mhm.
So it was a part in 12 Years a Slave where they had an Irishman who who became a bit of an indentured servant
Mhm.
to the slave master, the
Right.
guy, the main character in 12 Years a Slave had. And they were having this big conversation about how he don't know how he went wrong, and now he's sitting here being treated like a slave, and he had more empathy for them, and all these things, yada yada yada. So then when the black guy was like, listen, all right, I feel your heart and you on my plight. Like, all I need you to do is give me some paper and make sure you get this letter to where it needs to be, where it needs to be, and we can help each other. Of course, you know how that played out. And
Facts.
if you don't,
Yeah, I watched it. I remember.
yeah. So I think about that part. Like, you down until you not. If you see a way out to separate yourself, that's always been the plight. We cool and we experience the same thing until color come into play and peer privilege, and it don't take much. Ergo, $50,000 signing bonus, which
Yeah.
somebody did the math on that, Mick, and they was like, make it make sense. I gotta find that video because they did the math on how them people really getting paid out for ICE, and they getting paid pennies for the devastation and diabolical deeds that they doing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yep, knowledge is power. You right about that,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying, and it feel like we missing that. Like, I'm not saying what they doing is right. I'm just trying to paint a picture for you. I might not be a Picasso for you, but look who getting mad. I'm just saying we done went through this. They forgot about Rosewood. They forgot about Brownsville in Chicago. They forgot the blacks started the policy game. Look how they took them out and took it. Just think about it. Made it legal. Just look at the weed game. You done lock people up for selling weed. Made it legal, and then want to lock Pookie and Ray Ray out the game. Look at alcohol. It was. You had prohibition at one time. Go to any gas station you can buy liquor at. It's all right for the government to get in the game. They will lock your ass up and then come right back and flip the laws because they want to get in on it. This is the type of people that you're dealing with. Like, you're dealing with some hypocrites. So it's like, like I'm saying, we sit up here, we talking like how you saying y'all water, y'all got all this up. But how in the hell can we go send $40 billion to Argentina? How can we go send money out here and we can't go fix up our own? That's what I'm telling you. You look at people, and that quote that Lyndon LBJ said, I believe it to this day. You had people saying, oh yeah, cut it off. Can't buy, I mean, my bad, Zachary. Beer. My bad. Beer. You can go buy beer at gas stations. Thank you, brother, for helping me clear that up. I didn't want the liquor, them people to come back at me. Thank you for that. You can go buy beer. Any gas station. Go buy beer at any gas station. And will arrest you for it.
Take you
I will supply you with the shit and then we'll lock you up for it. Man, any police can go sit at a bar on Friday nights, man, and sit on the street and just wait to go write tickets if they really wanted to do that. Let's be honest. What's up, JP6? Let's be honest. How they will trick you in, then they will give you the stuff and then write laws on it.
Because somebody gotta get paid. You know, you gotta feed the jail system because that's a business too. Let's not forget. Yeah. That's big business. Big business. Yeah.
They didn't say we ain't gonna sell it on Sundays. You gotta wait till 12 o'clock. Like, I'm just saying, when you look at some of this, I didn't. Hey, Sherry Allen, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go with you can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I ain't got time to be going back and forth. But the brother say, I know you can buy beer. I'm gonna go with the beer. Flint is different, Sherry. That is called a trick bag. Facts. You know, I know I took my homeboy to one last night when I left here, and he had went and got. That's why I was talking about it. I didn't want to bring it out. But hey, we're gonna go with liquor. Maybe they doing it illegal. That's why I ain't gonna say which spot it was at. You know, I ain't gonna say which one it was at. I'm gonna just leave that alone. I don't want them to come over here and say I set the gas station up. Had me in some whole other mess.
I'll get you because you done bought it. You made it hot.
I've been and made it hot and everything. But I know you can buy beer. You can buy beer. I'm gonna go with the beer. Because that might have been, I'm about to blow their spot up, but no. We don't say it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a trick bag, right? Because I think about like here in DC, that's why we would elevate and honor and I about how DC really runs and us having home rule, which means we got a little bit of power, but we still got answer to the Thunderdome, right?
Right.
And they tearing out, I almost cussed, they tearing us up. And one example of that is like when you talk about how we just had an explosion of dispensaries that came into DC because DC was open to the thought of like us having access to that to try to balance off the lack of investment in some mental health supports, right? That's why they said it's okay for the dispensaries to get here. That aside, all of a sudden we start getting mass raids happening at the dispensaries. Um, and that was starting with our own city, even though they had just said that it was okay to have a certain amount
On the
on
state
you and
level.
things like that. Right, right. But
Right.
because we're federal territory and when we were
Facts.
taking over on August 4th, now people are going to jail. If they catch you outside and you smell like it, you got it on you, you're gonna take a ride in a paddy wagon, which is contradictory because like if we going by local law, you'll be
Yes.
okay. You know, if you ain't got enough to be a kingpin, you can go about your way. But here we are, back again.
Well,
Oh,
JP6, I don't like the mayor like her neither. They got that from you. You done gave the mayor, you
that
terrible.
ain't
But
me. That's her own record, man. Look, she is devious. I'm trying to tell you, y'all think Liddell is something. Boy, you better check out Muriel's record. She'll
yeah,
make Liddell look like a saint.
but see, but look how they also did it. There's another way to knock the small man. I just think about it. Pookie and Ray Ray, I'm not saying they had it on lock, but they didn't put them out of business.
And now
You
Pookie
got
and Ray
you
Ray
got
out
this
here trying to find another way.
right, and that's what I'm saying. They came in, but then look how many. But we got just to show you the BS in it. How many black-owned dispensaries do we have? But you know who got a lot of them? Why we the last ones to get in on the game? They put stuff up for put the poll up here where you only have one or two, maybe three or four. But guess where they at? Guess what
Because
area they gonna put them in at?
it was never intended for us to be of same mind and viewed as equals. That's the bottom line of it. And they struggle with it every time a headline comes by, every time a mixed wedding happens, every time they see a commercial with somebody with some money that don't look like they are lacking melanin. You know, they mad about it. And these are just the age old battle that we inherit because we make a choice. Some of us, not really. Uh, we still here. The fight ain't changed. It wasn't that long ago that we had our elders being dragged and beat. As a matter of fact, you just told the story not too long ago in Flint about
Yeah.
that very thing. So, like, I mean, at the end of the day, it is an age old battle that we're gonna have to continue to fight. Unfortunately, unless we get some real big guns and some real big allies that's going to help us set the record straight on what we're going to stand as American citizens and united.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking at the Dreamer crack in the 80s. We didn't own any boats, planes, etc. But was the rest of that a high numbers for selling? But that's what I'm saying. That ran contrary because Congress wouldn't give Reagan the money to go fight his covert war he wanted to go do. You look, they did like this. We can bring the cocaine in and push it out here and on our own citizens. But you know what? He can be. We can put that right. We can write a law up. Family. I'll just give y'all an example. You know, cockfighting is not illegal. Don't they do that down in Florida? They changed the law on Michael Vick ass about a dog. We all know. Listen, let's quit playing and act like we didn't know nothing about dog fight. What's up, A Sprag? Thank you for tapping in. We knew about dog fighting. I have not seen that. I just heard rumblings about them. But I'm saying they've been having that going down. But they changed the law on Michael Vick just to get a conviction. Then change the law back. And you know what we do? We supposed to act like that ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what I'm saying. We act like ain't nothing wrong with it. But if you've been treated as a second class citizen, just and I'll bring it back up in case y'all might don't want to hear it. When Jack Johnson won the heavyweight championship, let's see if this is a fact. This is my good brother Zachary. When Jack Johnson won the heavyweight championship, because knowledge is power. When he won, don't forget the police rushed the cameras because they didn't want to show a white man being knocked out. Cut the cameras off. But guess what they went and did? Went to lynching black folks. Went to lynching black folks. Went to lynching black folks. So this ain't nothing new. Now we can be naive and act like, you know what I'm saying? This is like, like this is nothing like, oh, that was back then. Just let's go back up to the 60s. seeing dogs sick on you because you want to get registered. Now they was real getting funky down in the South, but ain't like they was doing it up here in the North. We can kill you, blow a church up with kids in it. I mean, but we act like, you know what I'm saying? That's nothing. We just sitting back like that's nothing. Okay, because we got to go to the same store. We get to move, and they only gonna let so many move in their neighborhood. Let's count that. Let's be honest with that. Let's be honest with that right there. This is what you battling against. And then what happened? Change who own the stores in your neighborhood. Ask all of the Arab community that own these stores, what neighborhoods they stay in.
I know around my way, it's the Asian community that owns most of the liquor stores and
Where they
uh,
stay at.
the convenience stores, and they stay out in VA, not
Do
in
they,
DC.
do they stay in y'all neighborhood?
No, I mean we got Mama Son and Papa Son, and they live because they've been in the community forever, so they live above the carryout. But that's one out of many in our communities that make money off of our communities by dispensing drugs and liquor and all the things that keep us deaf, dumb, and blind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But see, we'll get caught up. We'll get caught up. We get caught up into the madness. That's like, man, listen, it's so many. Look, you can come with the proof, and people will still deny it. They still deny it. Like I say, I'm not knocking nobody, but you better wake up. Let me see. They still attack churches to get rides at McDonald's. Yeah, it took them to go eat. Took them to go eat. Took them to go eat. This ain't nothing new. That's what I'm just saying. When you do be, and I get it. A lot of times, when just think about all of the political prisoners we got, and I'm not saying what they did to Maduro, the Venezuela president, but hell, look at Larry Hoover. Look at Jeff Fort. I don't know them brothers, but they still doing hard time. Look at all the ones. Look how they done knocked off people who was just fighting just because we wouldn't have to sit at the back of the bus. Just think about it. They locked up Rosa Parks because she didn't want to give up her seat.
And before Rosa Parks, it was a 15-year-old young lady who was pregnant that refused to give up her seat and was arrested. But they didn't use her story because
Yeah,
it wouldn't look good in the press. It would have been more about her being 15 than it would about her action and not being able to give up her seat. So they've been locking our kids up for a long time, too.
yeah. I'm looking at what Derek Williams said. Lines of communication have been cut or tampered with. Phone polls. Larry Hoover said we need to get to the polls. But it's trying to get the people to the polls now to get them out to vote. But look at the people you putting in office. Do Liddell, Candace, good brother Leon, good sister LaShawn. Do any of them look like they have any blood of the revolutionaries? When Liddell tried to call this platform a couple years ago pre-pseudo. Did she have any? Did she have any? Did they have any of that in them? And I'm going back to Dennis. Is anything Dennis highlighted the division was amongst, and not in a bad way. It was a good thing. You mean to tell me the majority of council is black and you can't get no money to go north of the Flint River? I'm just saying, like, they see what it is on them other sides of town. You would have thought Judy and when Allie was on there and Denniston would have been having to hustle and bustle to get votes from the other side to get what they want, to get some of their stuff pushed through. You would have thought it would have been that way. But you don't see stuff like that. Facts, Sherry Allen and other races have their own communities without liquor stores. However, they own stores in the black community. Yeah, a lot of people. Look, Chris Cat. A lot of communities have beer liquor stores. Oh, they didn't have them in the beginning. Wow, but I'm just saying, it's just like, but we get caught up in that. We accept everybody in our areas. That let you know we don't own nothing, even when we be even in the gang banging minds. You know what I'm saying? When you don't own nothing, because anytime they want to put a RICO up, in them neighborhoods, they come take you off the streets and let some next ones come roll it. It's like a game we playing and we ain't seen it. Let me see. The store owners and nail salons owners live in Grand Blanc, Lapeer, Flushing, and Davidson. Facts. But look how they treat the people here. I was having a conversation this morning. To be honest, I was talking to Trevor. He had called me. And I was telling him, I said, dude, do you understand? I see Nigerians. Well, I'm assuming, let me say African. Do you know I had a harder time with them? Now we cool now because something happened and I had to did a favor or whatever, but we didn't fuck. I mean, we didn't listen. I'm trying to tell you, downright nasty. But me, situation happened. I came through, helped them out. Try to act like we best of friends. Nah, I don't go for it. But what I am, I'm a cordial person. Hey, how you doing? I still keep it moving. No, because I seen how you treat. You might be cool with me, but I still see how you treat the blacks around. I'm not gonna be the one where you just feel, oh, he a good one. No, I'm no different than the rest of them. We all the same people.
What you saying, Mick? Keep that same energy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but something I'll be honest, yeah, it needed a boost. You know what I'm saying? But I remember what that. Listen, that's why I be laughing. I'll be like, you never know when you might need that person. And it's just this, he happened to need me, and I came on through. But I was like, damn, but I seen how he acted, but how he act with any other races, it seemed like they got, you know what I'm saying? Like they be having something against us.
I have to keep the belief, Mick, that at the end of all of this, that we will see America again for what
Okay,
it
I got you,
really
Derek.
is. Huh?
No, I was saying with Derek, he said not the polls. The poll, I got you, good brother. My bad.
A word. I have to believe that. I gotta believe because if I don't, like, what is it? What is it all for, man? Like, I gotta believe that we will see America for what it really is, and everybody will be on the same page to rectify it, so that we don't have to go through these things that we talked about have happened in the past, and we can move forward. But then
Mm-hmm.
again, elders before me have had that same belief, and we are still here today. So I'm not negligent of that thought either. But I just have to say, how do we move forward, right? Like,
Yeah.
are
Now
we,
check
are we
this out. Look at this from Mama Quill. Why is it that we will boycott Target but won't boycott the nail and the hair salons and the little corner stores owned by people who exploit and misuse us? Because it don't fit the narrative of the Democratic Party. They don't feel like they're gonna get enough money from them. You know, as far as your activists, like your Al Sharptons, your Jamal Brown, you know, they usually go shake down the same big businesses they know can give them some money.
Well, I mean, to aside close point, when I was on the parent teacher organization at my children's school, I was doing some research on how fundraising happens in different community, mainly white community. And one thing I found fascinating was that they hold any business owners accountable for business that they do in their community.
As
If
you
you're
should.
not, if you're not lending to the fundraisers or like when they had their auctions and things like that, you're not reinvesting that dollar into the community. You can't operate there. They'll make a big thing about it. So, like to your point, Mr. Quill, I think that that is something that we need to be cognizant of. Like, if you're not adding to business and you taking away from it and taking it away to other spaces, like you ain't of the community, we can't support you. I can't speak to why people are not operating like that. I know that even here, it's hard for people to get away from supporting a Target just because it's our main source of getting access to the things that we so used to using our day and day. It's just a change of mind that I'm learning about of how to become less dependent on the things that you've been brought up with and more dependent on those community members and people who are putting into your community more. Is it a party or is it the people? Hmm.
See, and that's what I'm saying. But to me, in this system, it allows you to do certain things. And what I mean by that, long as you play within it, it'll let you do what you need to do. But once you go outside the way it's set up and what you can protest against and can't protest against, then they come at you. Remember when Martin was going around, he was talking about the moral character of America toward the end. And that's what we're talking about right now, the moral character of America. Because how can you know what, the dreamer, I didn't. I just went ahead and did it, man. I'm not gonna lie, because you never know, like, whatever. I done been jammed up and the person came and gave me one. I just did it. Yeah, but I don't, but I still keep it the way it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't do all that. Let me come over here. We finna be. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's still. I'm just a respectful person. How you doing and keeping it moving? You know, I don't need no new friends.
New friends ain't all bad, Nick.
No, I'm just saying what I don't need a new friend with. They started off rocky. So I'd rather keep it where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Because he might do something that piss me off, like when people, but you're different. What? What you mean I'm different? You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for that. When I be hearing that, I be like, damn, dude, how am I different from any other black person? When I hear people saying that, that's just like you trying to justify. Should
I
I
mean,
say you're different from your lineage? You know what I'm saying? Like you, I'm just saying it's just different things that we just go for, man. It'd be like even when Barack, remember when Barack, they was trying to act like Barack was somebody different. They wanted to put in their mind he was different. He was a different person.
I think that also talks to the point of how intentionally America works to isolate us from each other when we talk about different cultures and work really hard to keep us at odds.
Hmm.
Because I found, as somebody once again who intentionally organizes and goes to like different cultures and have these hard conversations, that once you had conversations with people, you realize that they had, and this is not for everybody, but I, at most in my 15 plus years of doing this work, I've learned that people have not had exposure enough to understand that they're being lied to when it comes to how different cultures are represented and how they experience in America. And so a lot can be changed in my mind when you have conversations intentionally, even if they're hard, and call people out on this. I almost cussed. Call people out on
Hmm.
this stuff. I'm learning to be better with my vocabulary. See,
Shit.
I'm learning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, like conversations are hard. But like also, if you don't listen to other people's perspective on how they experience in America, then you're no different than the people that we're telling you are hurting us.
But see,
And
now go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was like, in fact, you can be more harmful to the conversation than you know, right? Like either you an ally or you not. Yogi, is there any hope that ICE will leave DC soon? Sherry Allen, it's a lot of hope for DC, but that ain't one of them. Donald Trump said, we don't care what your lawyer said, they still gonna be around. And they ain't been all bad. I ain't trying to, well, hold on, wait. I'm mixing it up. I'm talking about the National Guard. The National Guard was the one who was just helping us dig people out of the snow. ICE is the one who's been snatching people up. Now, here's the tricky part, right? Unless you actually been out in these streets, you will not know that we are still having issues with ICE because our media has gone radio silent on any activity that is ICE related.
Mm,
The only thing here in the District of Columbia that we have been hearing about constantly has been Minnesota, Minnesota, Minnesota.
right.
But when you come outside of the media being your only source of whatever is happening, Sherry Allen, to your point, yes, ICE is very much active, still here. There are no signs that they're going to be leaving anytime soon. We are in the same situation, not as egregious as what's happening in Minnesota, but it's no different. We're still having people being taken off the streets and put in detention centers. As a matter of fact, they were talking about trying to build a detention center just a couple of days ago in what we call our Ninth Ward in Maryland. So if anything, they're making the detention centers bigger so that they can keep getting more people. So, yeah, I wish I had better news on that.
I just feel bad because you can get some pricks like you have here in the police force that can just say detain you. You could be legal. They'd be like, you can have people be like, they just got attitudes. We're gonna have you here for 48 hours. knowing they on BS. And I don't think people really be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying everybody they put in are moral people. You got some dipshits that's in these ICE and on these police forces. How do you combat that?
Man, I don't know that we do, other than what we seeing escalate in the news. Like when you got people who are not educated, who are not interested in opening a book, or even hearing conversation from the people that they have signed on to kidnap and brutalize, the next elevation comes with some contingency plans, and that's really what people have been having a conversation about. Like, are we at a point of civil unrest that's going to lead to civil war? Some of us don't want to say it out loud because we don't want to deal with that reality that America could get, like how it's gotten in the past. So I don't think that as this administration continues to press the buttons on just how much America is going to stand, or the people who are saying that they want this version of America being collective, uh, if they're going to say it with their chest and what they're willing to do to meet the energy that they being met with. But it's unfortunate too, because if we do meet them where they are, then when it comes to our policies and the activation of our constitution, then that will be the one part that they will willingly get down with exercising, which is sustaining our democratic process, because we are at a civil war. And we will be stuck in la la land until nobody,
How
the last man, can sit and stand.
you feel about this? I was saying where the one black, I ain't gonna put the video up, but I think I'm if I wouldn't, yeah, I was kind of telling you about it. She said it was a cold war between, and I'm just gonna say it right what she said. She said the racist left, I mean the racist right side, the racist conservative versus the racist uh, liberals. And she said the Civil War, we was fighting the Civil War. Said we fighting, they fighting the Cold War, we fighting the Civil War. And that was the point that you know what I'm saying, going back to like the Keith Porter and far as what happened in Minnesota. Both one conservative, one liberal agreed on the same thing with Keith Porter Jr. situation. Wait till all the evidence come out. But when it came to Minnesota, the conservative kept the same stance. The liberal was like they was wrong, and that's what I'm like. The point is like, how can you get people to really see the plight that we got going on? It's like it's hard to like they propaganda machine is so good. They just have it's just like everybody got a notion on blacks. It just listen. I done heard foreigners say blacks are lazy. You know, y'all lazy. How are we lazy? Do y'all understand what the fight that we been like? It's just to hear them situations. Like, dude, how do y'all figure we lazy? Like, do you think people who created policy were lazy? When we create something, they try to take for every. We study building something, but you will have people who just got here come in and had a notion blacks are lazy. Where they get that from? I like it. It be baffling my mind when I see like the different things they try to say, but yet we so lazy. Every nationality, when they get here, they want to base their businesses in the black area. I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, where's that rhetoric coming from?
Abroad, the narrative never died. Just even though they changed their tactics, it was always us versus them. Uh, and we have, with good reason, right? That's why I always bring up, right? It's not a total crucifixion of like why can't we just show up? Like, we know why we can't show up. We've been drugged, we've been ill educated, we've been isolated, we've been thrown to the wolves in the narrative that we're here to rob, kill, and destroy, even though that was the narrative that was given to us. Um, and I'm really at a loss, honestly, outside of what I've echoed since we started the show today about just how important it is to come outside of our boxes
Yeah.
and have conversations with each other and really figure out how we're going to support each other in the larger scheme of things. Because to your point, America is built how it's built. We got the facts and the receipts all day, all night to show us. But the real question for me, and I'll continue to push, is just what side of history are we going to be on? What are we going to do about it? Are you going to fight or you going to flight? And ain't too many places we going to be able to go and flight. That's why I brought up the whole conversation about the passenger princess denial. Like, you could try to get up out of here, but you better start today. You better go today,
Yeah,
because tomorrow's price ain't gonna be the same price.
yeah, and you know, and that's really what my big thing is that because I'm looking like, okay, I remember when George Floyd. I'm just saying it's not too long ago. I remember. Oh, he was on this. I watched the other communities that dogged us. He should have did this. Um, Trayvon got killed over Skittles because he wasn't supposed to be in this area. My man didn't think he supposed to be, and didn't think Trayvon could live in this area.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Get killed while walking, being black, and got off. Damn that it was self-defense. This man was like, when you watch the Animal Channel, he was stalking his prey. Then nobody see nothing wrong with that. A grown man following, and they came up with big thing. Oh, he had got. Let's just go with this. Then DC. What was the young guy that got robbed? Allegedly got robbed by some teenagers, and all hell.
Senior big boss. Mm-hmm. That's what they
And,
call them, those handles.
yeah, allegedly got robbed, and all hell then broke loose. Trump brought in the National Guard. He did this and that.
That's what kicked us off.
Yeah. But what about when it was a black person who probably got robbed? Did he send in the National Guard then? Because it's acceptable for what happened to us. And that's what I'm talking about when you still damn near a second-class citizen. Fact, Constance. Facts. We talk about each other with them facts. But see, that's where our mind is wrapped up at. That's what I'm telling you. We see, you know, like I mean, I ain't trying to change nobody. Hey, Stinky, but hey, listen, we ain't got to prove Sir Gregory wrong. I mean, not Zachary wrong. We don't prove Zachary wrong. Zachary all right with me. You know, sometimes Zachary, a broke clock can be right twice a day. See how you tried to, you educated us, trying to tell us about that 25 years and walked off into that. And I'm trying to keep them off you, Zachary. But you didn't want to let it go. You want the high side, Spacely. And now they telling you, because I know I was at the store last night when somebody had bought it. You know, Zach, maybe you don't hang on them sides in Flint when you come in where they sell the liquor at the gas stations.
We said we weren't doing that. We don't know nothing about it. That spot is sacred. Leave it alone. Let the people do their
No,
job. Figure it out.
They come in and prove it and point on Zach. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you told me that. I used to always hear Stephen A. Smith said on First Take, you know, Zach. I'm just see how Zach wanted to take Zach like he gonna get his credit. Like that's the first time.
Exactly. I'm part of the show. We about to get it in. He said, "You called? You rang? I'm here."
Yeah, he said like Zach. Look at Zach. Zach trying to. Zach, you win, brother. You win.
Zach, I don't want
the
to
gas stations you go to.
They
don't sell liquor right when you in the city where you go to. Hey, maybe I was, Zach. Maybe I was. Zach, like you were saying it wrong, goddamn. He gonna get his today, ain't he?
I will. Let me get in on it. And I'll say here in DC, I haven't seen too many gas stations that sell beer or liquor, but they do sell other things though. So I guess it's just the market that you in the area.
Facts. I'm waiting on the gas station to start be part dispensary. Where it can be a one-stop shop. They sell blunts there. They sell all other stuff that you need. You know what I'm saying? But like they say, crack ain't a problem till you mix it with that baking soda and water. You know what I'm saying? That's when it becomes you can get life, a little booger like that. I'm just saying.
Sherry Allen said APB. Mick, you're not welcome at the gas stations anymore.
I'm gonna stay away from them. I'm gonna stay away from them.
You've been blocked. You got to go over there with your suburban friends when you go get your physical therapy. That's where you get your gas from. You done gave up the ghost.
What'd you say? Chris Caleb said in the 1700s used to be like that. Listen, you think the gas station's not getting in on this big business here? They like, listen,
Man, let me
we
tell
all
you,
getting in on it
boy, our gas station is a one-stop shop. If you know who you know where to go.
for
You can get
sure.
anything you need at the gas station. All right, just some of them around the area that I'm living in, they don't sell those type of things. But that don't mean I couldn't tell you a few that might get you what you need for the day. They gonna set you straight, or you might
Listen,
still be there because some of them don't never leave. They go there and pick up something, and they be sitting there like statues.
Americans are creative. Americans are creative. Damn that, because they don't sell liquor on Sundays. I think he's no longer here. I can't say this. Jake the Snake sold
Oh
liquor when it wasn't
man.
supposed to be. It was after our liquor stores here. It wasn't supposed to be. But I'm saying it's plenty of people who play with outside the rules, but it's more people on the underground. Oh, see, Alan said most gas stations around the country are owned by foreigners. Lord, what happened? Why we don't have no black gas stations no more? What
Cause
happened?
man, they don't want us to be great. We came in here, we were cattle, we were workers. We were not considered as equals, so they can't let it go because that's not what we were supposed to be here for. Well, for the ones who were brought over, I want to be correct because the chat keeps us straight.
I
Yes,
believe
we do
that's
have indigenous representation here in these so-called American lands. And so I'm speaking to the ones who got dragged and pilferaged over here from the great beyond. That's the experience I'm talking to. So don't chat me up in the chat.
Hey, Zach, I would say my cousin's name, but I ain't gonna put their name out there. They used to be like that. I remember being at my granny crib. It might be like 2 in the morning. They'd be like, "Nah, we know where to go." I was a little young pup would be able to sit up and watch them go out and come back. I remember being at my granny's house out in Beecher, man. I remember my uncle Edge used to have us in the car with him pull up. We was a little kid. I'd be hanging on the back seat like this. That's when you used to put your feet could touch the ground. Like I said, I remember it. I remember remember what I don't know about this, but this back in the day when we used to come in little yellow envelopes like that. They had to fill up with brim little dime until they started coming with them little boogers like this, the little bags as it got, in the 80s.
I don't know nothing about that. I still got one of
I'm
these
just saying what my uncles done. I just remember my uncles done used to have they what's the name. And I was a kid. I'm talking about how they things they used to be. I'm just saying you can get with it was always underground. You know what I'm saying? But it's just sweet. Hey, you know about it, Derek. Hey, you know about it. I'm trying to tell you.
Otis, you
Hey,
want
yellow.
disappear. You
They
giving up
call
too
it
much of the
reef.
soul. You giving up too much of the secrets, Otis. You
This,
might
this,
be disappear. This
this,
might be our last show together, y'all, because
this was
Otis might not
this
make
was
it today.
this was pre 79, 80, 81, 82. Like I told you, my feet couldn't even touch the wood stand. This when them cars was made out of steel. When
I'm
they
gonna have
didn't
to hop
tell
off of
kids wear
here.
seatbelts. When my granny used to floor it and just slang me to the back. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like that. Like, yeah, them was the days. You know what I'm saying? She had the skylark. Like I'm
See,
telling you, them was
I'm
the
gonna have
days.
to hit the eject button on this conversation. Didn't I tell you we in the federal city? They monitoring everything. And we
Oh
sit
yeah,
here
they
having
gonna
this
lock you. But
conversation.
I'm
You in
talking
the
about
state
Flint.
with the arms
No,
of
no, no.
Flint.
I'm talking
You
about
in
the
the
Flint. Now
state
they
with the
lock you
arms of
up.
Flint. I'm on federal territory. I can't be
But you know what?
participating in conversations like
You're
these.
right. You're right. We can't because the man that's running your city has went to a whole nother country and brought a motherfucker and locked him up. So you're right. Where
Let
you
me
at, they
tell you,
probably will get you.
and I don't want to take his place. I'm not trying to go to
Right.
Venezuela while they bringing him over to a suite, allegedly, because that's what they said they put him at. They say they got him and his wife in the suite, but I don't know these news sources that can't be trusted. But I don't
Yeah.
want to take your place.
Listen, I remember my old man. I used to sit in the car when he'd be going up in the hill. I remember he used to be called over on Lippincott. He's from the south. So I'd be on Lippincott, pull up. He'd be in the club right here. Let me sit in the car while he's partying. I used to go into the restaurant next door. You know what I'm saying? To get a little taco salad. About 6 years old, sitting up there while he partying. My mama didn't know this. He bringing me in 3, 4 in the morning with him. Like I'm saying, but you could do that back then. The hustlers they respected you. See, a lot of stuff I'm telling you, these places are no longer open. I remember being at the Peacock Lounge. with the hustlers, they back there gambling. I'm like 10, and they real money was on the table. Like Chipmunk not here no more, but I don't want his kids to be mad. But I remember he used to be back there. They would have like damn near 6,000-7,000 each part. Could have robbed him. I'm not me. I was 10, but I'm saying them old heads used to be back there gambling, playing cards. Them was good times. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is going on now. It's downright diabolical.
I'm gonna stay off into space, and I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But them people back then, they supported stuff that was going on. Who you think supported the people that was out there fighting?
True.
That's what I'm saying. What happened to the love from the street? See, once the people get the love back, all these people that's running, the streets don't love y'all. That's why y'all can't get. It's only a select few can get 100 to 200 people vote. If you get the love. No. Blind intelligence. I said I wasn't. I wasn't nothing but 10, man. I couldn't have did nothing. I was just sitting back. They used to order us food. I'd be with the other kids. They would order us food and everything. Get a piece and stuff.
You creating the lore. They about to take the story and run with it. Mickey
I'm telling you the truth. Some, like, majority of them might not be here, but the ones know. Remember, I was the little 10-year-old with the big curly hair, the fro. I'm trying to tell you.
All right. Tomorrow when you see an article on Facebook that say Mickey was a kingpin at 10, remember this moment.
No. I'm saying I was sitting
Friday on $5 Friday. Mickey said he was a kingpin at 10.
No, never said. I said I was around some of the legends of this thing. I'm talking about doing when they was doing. When they was. It was real. I ain't saying it ain't real now. It's just. But it was. I remember the Snells having a black store. I can name the black stores. It was black stuff still. It was on. It was down, like they say, the golden age was going over when we weren't owning no more. See, I came in when they was losing the power as far as owning the stores. I'm just saying. Oh, okay. My bad. My bad. Good brother. Blind intelligence. I'm just saying. But these were the stuff that you seen. What do we do now? Like, where's that love at, Yogi? I'm saying. You had community back then. You don't have that. Even with all the madness, the drug selling going on, even with the gang bangers, you had community building because they was only trying to protect their community. You ain't got that now.
Man, I don't know, Mick. All I can do is tell you I'm going to keep my Door to Explore backpack going. I'm keep trying to find community because I don't have the skill sets to stay alive on my own. And so since I'm here and it hurts to try to die, I'm gonna make sure I do my part to make sure I got at least a small community that got some pounds and some piums that can keep us safe while I try to find another community that can keep me safe and keep it on the run. Because that's what it seems like we're gonna have to make sure we got. If you don't got nothing else, make sure you got your backpack and your running shoes because America is on fire for sure on this $5 Friday.
Let me give you a little hint, Yogi. Y'all get them little pum. I'm telling you, this was I remember my cousin father, man. I remember this. Let me tell you, I remember this before we ended. Okay. This dude said, he came home from Vietnam. Let me show you where his mind state was at. He came home from Vietnam. He was like, Reezy, he ain't gonna mess with that Black Panther stuff. Mm-hmm. He was like, they had their little pings. He said, I remember he told us this story. I remember being young. He told it twice. And both times he was dead serious. I remember hearing it when I was 13. Thank you, Sherry, the lovely Sherry Allen with the $4.99 super sticker. I remember I heard it when I was 30. He said, man, do you know them little he used to call them bean shooters that they got? He said, man, they're going to kill them. And this what he said. He was saying back there, he said he went once to a meeting. He said he came on in. He was with it when he said they was talking about the gun. This is in the 60s. He said that was his one and only meeting. And when they went he was like, man, he just left the war. He said, man, I just got home, did a tour. He said, I looked at the stuff that we had over there and them little bean shooters they had. He said, oh, man, they going to lose. And what happened when the police done went to, I'm laughing from crying. When they went to attacking them, when they sick their forces on the Black Panther Party, how you gonna be something like that? Listen, they ain't gotta come in your neighborhood now. They can bring a drone and knock your ass down.
Whole block. They took out a whole block, but still we rise. Ain't that what Maya Angelou said?
Like Mom said, I gotta take this from him. I'm not gonna let no fools lead me into some shit. Just think about the certain ones, the Black Panther parties when they was trying to challenge something, got certain people knocked off that the leadership, the upper ones, wasn't with. You get some rogues. You will get some rogues. Like I'm not gonna let you. How you gonna beat people? I'll give you an example, Yogi. When y'all do, like say, when they shoot they beings out, who you gotta go to go get some more?
Yeah,
You gotta. I mean, but when you playing your war, you gotta know what you're doing.
That's we had our police officers thrown in the alley, so I mean, they not hard to find. They might have stopped doing it recently because times have changed, but you know.
Listen, in protest, they set little bricks out there for reason. We're gonna let y'all throw bricks. Let's see how many you can kill with that. Because when they see their people, they gonna sit them out there with them real live rounds. Like you think the police don't got fully automatic?
I'm sure
they gonna make sure you got semi or semi. They don't want you to have the same shit they have. Just think about it. They want an advantage too.
Yeah. But yeah, here we are. And
I'm just saying, be wise before you go jump out there and go take on something. You have to be wise. You know what I'm saying? Then you just hear. If it would have been me, I'd have told Jack Johnson, take the dive. People got lynched for that. You know what I'm saying? Hindsight is 20/20. But I'm just saying, you got to have a wise general. I don't want no fool leading me into something and then you ain't got a plan B. Oh, we're gonna do this. Dude, they will send a whole nother force from the neighboring city that'll come back them up. Did you see the one brother that took on the police in California? They sent a robot in there and blow his ass up. They will go to the extreme. Y'all laughing. Some bitches will go to the extreme. If you want to give you another hit, ask Hiroshima how they still feeling. Still feeling the after effects. When a person tell you, the United States saying,
still got bombs blowing up. We're
not gonna keep fucking around. We gonna show them. This when even though that was their load, as the people would say, when they shot their load, they shot a load that said we done playing. Babies are still suffering from that, and we the only ones in history went ahead and dropped a nuclear on the nation. Like we're not playing no more.
With no
done. Game changer. And you think they won't play that again? That's where the real fuck around and find out. You keep getting in their way, and that's what I'm saying. Them too in Minnesota, not right, but they wanted to interfere with Trump them got going on. I'm not saying this, but I tell my people that's out there protesting, be careful because they got a thing. They are getting people out of here, and you're not gonna get in the way. And that's what they telling you. They've been knocking us down, but now they killing their own.
They say everybody can get it.
That's what's dangerous. When you see them knocking their own down, and then using words they used against us, I fear for my life. What? You ain't never hear them use that against their own. I feared for my life. A bump turned in. He got internal bruises, but I'm saying, but that's how the media put out there. But then when you see in their own saying that she was moving out the way. Then you hearing it was two people in the car, and I heard it was just one lady in the car. You see how they putting it out when they using them stories on their own to justify killing? Shit, you better pay attention what's going on, fam. That's all.
Who you believe? Who you gonna believe? You or your lying eyes?
What you think about before we go, Joy? What's the Joy? I mean, what, Anna Navarro, Whoopi Goldberg. What's the other lady name? Sonny Houston. Now she's not with your government lied to you. Now they on the View being a bit. I can't believe my government a lie. What the fuck was Nick Rose saying when we was talking about?
Where you been at?
What we was talking about Tamir Rice and George Floyd, Khalil Castile, when he got shot, said, I got my CCW. They killed that man in front of his little baby and in the car. Now, shot him up in the car, could have hit the kid, anything. I mean, to tell me now, you know what I'm saying? Like, when they knocking their own out. Now, I done gave you examples how they done did us. Walking in a good neighborhood while black. Playing in the park while kid. Like, let's quit acting like this ain't the first time they've been killing black kids. You forgot about Emmett Till. You forgot about the executed electric chair with the first kid down in Georgia. Have we forgot? They've been killing kids. On blacks, they kill them from the womb to the tomb. They don't care from an infant to an adult. All you gotta do is go get the book where they want to on the plantation. They split the woman in half pregnant and crush the baby skull with the heel of their boot. This is the type of stuff you dealing with. So when people sitting up here act like that bloodline has left, it just went in infinity like the last Mohicans. There's no more of them. Like certain tribes they knocked off that was here, no more of them. Oh no, that bloodline is strong in America.
Strong. Rebranded.
They chasing kids down. What the fuck you thought they was doing to us? This ain't nothing new. Then you just see when we played it in the summer, a boy got hit with 3 cans. I'm gonna put my 10 on the 2 on. He got hit with, that man sprayed him with 10-pound cans of mace. And he was already subdued. And the degrees was 115 degrees that day. They had him lay on the ground. Everybody else threw a 10 and a 2 on theirs. Any other last words?
Man, listen, I'm so happy to be here on 810 News Media Group on this $5 Friday. I know that Mick and Winston will be on here later to give you the news that you could use as it pertains to Flint and maybe a little national, so you don't want to miss out on that. Just because you didn't have the time to give us the $5 on this particular platform, please know there are many ways you can continue to do your part to make sure you see and hear from people such as Otis, and maybe sometimes me or Arna or Brother Elliot. You never know what Otis will put up here on the screen for us to talk about. And I just hope that out of the whole conversation today, you heard that you can either got 2 options. One, you can fight or you can flight. And you want to do some extensive research for that flight, but here we are. Here we are. And it's another day that we got to be here if you've seen us today. So I ran out of words to say. But anyway, y'all, I'm about to say peace because I still got to get out here in these streets. And hopefully I'll see y'all on Sunday.
If they don't lock your ass up, now don't you go out there being a freedom fighter. We need you on Sundays.
Hey, no promises, man. It's fight or flight, and I got to fight.
I can tell you right now, the 810 get you out of jail budget is weak.
Oh my God, y'all see y'all $5 fees because I have to fight for my life. I need some jail resources.
As they say, the war chest. It's not a chest, and it's nothing for war. So if you think we come up on attack, all we can do is talk shit.
Heard, Captain.
All we can do